What's going on, guys? I'm the Walrus Jedi, and in today's video I am continuing my rewatch of the Star Wars movies. This time it is the last of the prequel trilogy, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. This movie is considered canon. There will be spoilers for this movie, obviously. You have been warned. If you like what you see, then please consider liking the video and subscribing for more Star Wars videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thanks, and now on to the review. What I liked of Revenge of the Sith. The Battle of Coruscant. This was a fantastic way to start the movie, as you follow Obi-Wan and Anakin's Jedi starfighters seeking General Grievous's ship, the Invisible Hand. The music at this is really, really great, with the drums and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just a fun intro. The banter between Obi-Wan and Anakin throughout this movie, I thought was really good. It does a really good job of showing these two characters how they've developed from, instead of being father-son, they're more brothers now. And I think it's a better relationship. I think it fits better. General Grievous in this movie, I think he's a pretty good, for most people, this is their first introduction to General Grievous. Not everyone watched the 2D Clone Wars by Genndy Tartakovsky, before this movie. So I think it's a good representation of General Grievous. He's got a cool design. The voice is awesome. The tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Well, I'm just gonna let the scene tell you why this is good. So,
Darth Plagueis was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence the midi-chlorians to create life.
All the stuff on Utapau in the duel between Grievous, Obi-Wan's pursuit of Grievous on the wheel bike, the actual battle with the clones and the droids, the defeat of Grievous, and obviously the Order 66 scene. Here is the Order 66 scene.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
Yes, my lord.
I think Utapau is a great location and setting for a battle and a duel. Very different to what had been in Star Wars. Plus, the Powans look awesome. Shame they messed up the Grand Inquisitor's design in live action. Ugh, he looked so bad. Kashyyyk, you have the battle that between the clones and droids. That you see all sorts of cool vehicles and all that. And then you have, obviously, the Yoda's Order 66 scene, where he chops the heads of the clones off. And then, he has Tarful and Chewbacca help him escape. So that's pretty cool. So it's always great to see Kashyyyk. And this is actually kind of the first time we really get to see Kashyyyk. And there's tons of Wookiees on screen. So all in all, it's pretty cool. I wish we would have got to see a little bit more. It is pretty brief in the movie. Anakin's march on the Jedi Temple. This is just a great scene. And the music that accompanies it makes the great scene a legendary scene. All the stuff with Dark Side Anakin, or as I should say, Darth Vader, as he was renamed before all of the following. His march on the temple, the slaughter of the younglings, the total annihilation of the separatist leaders on Mustafar. I've already talked about the temple march, but as dark as the scene is, the implication of Darth Vader killing younglings shows how far he's fallen. I think it's a good scene to show, okay, this guy is not, he's clearly turned to the dark side. Like, if it wasn't obvious, the massacre of the Separatists just shows how brutal Vader is, and we see him get his yellow Sith eyes, which are a mark of a true Sith. The scene at the temple with Yoda and Obi-Wan, where they go back, and they're killing the clones. They're just laying waste to them. So it's kind of cool. It's also nice that we get to see more of the interior, different rooms and stuff like that. And we see Anakin on the hologram, killing Jedi and bowing before the Emperor. So we see Obi-Wan find that out. So Mace Windu's duel with Darth Sidious. While the other three Jedi are bested rather quickly, poor Kit Fisto, and Saesee Tiin and again Kular, I feel bad for anybody that's their favorite Jedi, because it's like, oh, they just get essentially thrown away. But that's a shame. So it was nice to see the big bad of the whole saga fight with a lightsaber. Mace in general is great, and a nice touch is that he is the Jedi who Anakin dislikes the most. So obviously having him, Anakin have to choose between helping Mace and helping Palpatine, who Palpatine's essentially his father figure. It really is no contest. Plus, Palpatine's, saying, I can help Padme, blah, blah. It's like, it really is obvious which one Anakin's going to choose. So, but, I still like it. It's pretty good. Yoda's duel with Sidious in the Senate chamber. It was always going to be cool to see Yoda use a lightsaber, as in, the Attack of the Clones. It's cool. The orb, at the end of the duel, when like Yoda's holding Palpatine's lightning at bay, and it's this big giant ball of energy, and then it explodes and sends them both back. I think that's interesting, and I don't exactly know. Like, I don't know. Like, where does it explain like exactly what's happening? Like, is Yoda just essentially using the Force to contain the lightning into a ball, and then he could send it out? Like, what exactly is Yoda doing? I've always kind of found that interesting. And, this obviously leads into Yoda having to go into hiding. So, and obviously the Obi-Wan and Anakin's duel on Mustafar. Duh. This one is probably my favorite duel in all of the movies, but it's pretty close because I really like Duel of the Fates, with Maul and Obi-Wan and that's pretty good. There's a few in the Clone Wars, like Maul Savage and Darth Sidious. I really like that one. Yeah, they're Star Wars has some pretty good duels, but this one's probably my favorite. Just like the in the Phantom Menace, this duel has a really cool music piece written for it in Battle of the Heroes. Speaking of Battle of the Heroes, it's my favorite piece from this movie, and this soundtrack, the Revenge of the Sith soundtrack, it's my favorite of the Star Wars saga. It's really good. Have a listen of Battle of the Heroes and find out why it's my favorite. It's good stuff. How this movie began to tie Qui-Gon with teaching Yoda and Obi-Wan to become Force ghosts, I thought was really good. Obviously, more Qui-Gon, even if it's just an indirect kind of tie-in. Yes, please. Always glad to get more Qui-Gon. The end shot of the Larses with Luke looking at the binary sunset with the Force theme playing in the background. Spoiler alert, the Force theme is probably going to be the music piece for A New Hope. So just putting that out there. This is a great end to the movie, as although the Empire, won, or, the Sith, they won, there's that little bit of hope with Luke for the future. So it's a really good ending. The standout vehicle is either the Jedi Starfighter, the Obi-Wan and Anakin, or General Grievous's wheelbike, but I'm going to pick General Grievous's wheelbike, as I like the Jedi Starfighters, but I like their triangular starfighters more. So, but that's just a personal preference. But so the wheel bike's a unique vehicle in Star Wars. You don't get a lot of, I don't know how to describe it, like I don't know, a really giant motorcycle, I guess, giant cycle. I don't know. Regardless, it's really cool, and it's new and different, and not the same old boring thing. The standout sound, I'm gonna pick Vader's breathing. Because the original trilogy, there's so many other sounds, like A New Hope. I could pick Vader's breathing, or I could pick the lightsaber. I'm going to pick the lightsaber, though. So, I want to, yeah. But if I had to pick something from this movie, I would pick, Boga, the giant lizard feathered thing that Obi-Wan rides, the noise it makes. What I did not like, for Revenge of the Sith. There is an odd bit of dialogue here or there, but nothing, doesn't bug me. But the bulk of my issue with this movie, it has to do with Padme. She really doesn't do a whole lot in this movie, except, she's worried about Anakin, which is fine. And, she's pregnant and stuff like that. And she dies and gives birth to him and stuff like that. But that's it. All her Senate stuff was cut, which those are some scenes that should have been left in. So I wish that was in there, like where she's setting up essentially kind of really early rebellion, essentially, which I like. And I think that's a cool tie-in and setup. Another minor point is C-3PO. He doesn't have a whole lot to do in this movie either. But again, I don't think that's the end of the world, as neither droid is really integral to this movie. It's much more about Obi-Wan and Anakin and, Palpatine and stuff like, which I think is totally the right call. So overall, this is my favorite Star Wars movie, and in my top 10 favorite movies of all time, I'd give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. Although, maybe some days it'd be a 10 out of 10 too. But, if Padme would have had a few other scenes that aren't just that, like she's more proactive. She doesn't do a whole lot, because in the other two movies she's more proactive. And I feel like if you like Padme, she's not my favorite character, but like this is probably her weakest movie. What do you think of Revenge of the Sith? Should Padme have been given more to do? What is your favorite ship in Star Wars? You can tell me your answers to these questions in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, thank you for watching.